La 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 la. This is the Villa download. We break it down, your dose of love, islands and beyond. From the villa to the latest shows. This is the Villa download, where the real story always flows. La 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 la
Hello, it is time for the Villa Download, where we unpack, unhinge, and unapologetically obsess over reality TV and pop culture. Normally, Kimberly would be right here with me, but at the very last minute, unfortunately, she had to step away tonight because her sweet pup Lucy isn't doing too well. And of course, family always comes first, and she's exactly where she needs to be tonight with her dog. So let's all send prayers to Kimberly's dog, Lucy, that everything is okay with her tonight. And Kimberly and I will be back and reunited very soon. So again, tonight I am flying solo, but don't worry, we have plenty to get into. And this is our 2025 pop culture and reality TV recap, plus a full breakdown of where things currently stand with the Villa Awards. So we're talking the moments that define the year, the storylines that wouldn't let go, and reality TV chaos that kept us glued to our screens. So drop your thoughts in the chat, jump into the conversation, and let's get into it. So, of course, as you guys know, typically I always like to also have a drinking game along with tonight, which you guys are more than welcome to participate in. I will just be partaking in water tonight as I've been having a lot of fun during the holiday season. So, I'm personally just going to take it a little bit easy tonight, but let's get into tonight's drinking game, guys. So for tonight's drinking game, always shared either on YouTube if you're watching us there, it will be shared on the community tab, or of course on the Danny Gossip Girl Instagram account as well. So guys, take a sip every time Tamra gets mentioned, and I have a feeling this messy, chaotic queen, I'm not even sure how to really define how Tamra is, gets mentioned. So you're going to be taking a lot of sips. Take a sip every time the chat goes wild for Nicolandria because, oh my goodness, I have never seen a fandom ride so hard. So kudos to the Nicolandria fans because I am beyond impressed in all of my years of fandoms. I've never seen a group ride so hard. Also, take a sip if a reality TV moment clearly dominated the year. Take a big cop when a franchise or a network is clearly changing formulas, which I feel like there has been a bit of this year, or a moment sparks debate over ratings versus authenticity. And that's definitely going to tie into Love Island. Take another big gulp when a Love Islander is dominating the rankings, as not only does Nick Landria ride hard for Nick and Alandria from the past season of Love Island, but a lot of the other Islanders have a lot of people rooting for them. So there will be drinking had with that. And then lastly, finish your drink if I had to take out my Ramona eyes on Kimberly, which I'm not going to do tonight because Kimberly's not here. And my kids stole my Ramona crazy eyes right before this. So I have to find them later on. Also, if our jaws drop over a moment. So everyone, again, have your drinks ready and we will be getting all into it. But first. Before we dive in, guys, make sure you hit the like on this video. It seriously helps our channel grow and pushes the Villa download out to more reality TV lovers just like you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss one of our lives, which is typically on Wednesdays. But of course, things are fluctuating as it is a holiday season. And I'm off last week. I'm off this week or the start of the new week. So things are flexible. And we'll be, of course, continuing to break down news or drop an interview. We have a great interview coming up next week as well. So we are just getting started. And of course, share this episode with your group chats, your Bravo besties, reality TV lovers, and those who love Love Island as well. So let's get into more of it. Want to go into a little bit, and hey to the Bravo babe who is in the house. Happy to have you here. And this kind of is a good tie-in to what is the Villa Awards, which is currently going on the Villa Download YouTube channel and also the Danny Gossip Girl Instagram account. So let's get into what are the Villa Awards. So, what are the Villa Awards? They are something that I started a while ago, specifically on my Danny Gossip Girl account, because with being a content creator, even before coming a content creator, it's been so nice on Instagram or before on Twitter. I think that's maybe how I found you, Bravo babe, was on Twitter, was finding a community that felt like that had the same interests as you. Of course, you have besties, you have family members, but how often can you rant and rave about everything pop culture, reality TV, Bravo, without your loved ones looking at you like you are a psycho, which so very often happened to me until I found my community. And the community, like the Bravo babe and so many others, was an inspiration and, of course, provided um, daily content to me, enjoyment, distraction, because life can be crazy, especially in the year of 2025. So when I started my Danny Gossip Girl Instagram account, number one, I wanted to give appreciation to all of the accounts that I got daily enjoyment from. So I would start weekly appreciation posts, I think every Sunday, giving props to my favorite accounts. And then at the end of every year, wanted to give awards to who my favorites were. Typically, I would just give out the awards, the nominations, but this year we're switching it up now that Kimberly and I are together. We are making it a joint collaboration on our podcast, The Villa Download. So all throughout, it started, I think, December 16th. 17th or so, and it is going to January 6th. Voting will be taking place, so make sure to check that out. And there are a lot of different ways that you guys can vote. The first way that you can vote for the Villa Awards is number one, go to the post that it is. It won't let me show you in here because I'm not actually logged in, but go into any of the posts. And then normally at the bottom, there will be a voting option that you can click on. It will give you the different poll options to select from. So that is one way to vote. Another way to vote, because there's 3 different ways you can give your favorites the votes, and everything will be tallied up. Also, your faves, those that win these awards, they will actually have awards sent to them. So another way that you can also vote is by going to my Danny Gossip Girl highlight and click on the Villa Awards and just click through it And it will give you, as you scroll through it, it will give you your different polling options. So, who are the different options? And then at the end of each category, you can vote on the appropriate person. So, that is option number 2 of the way that you can vote. Another way that one can vote is, of course, as I mentioned, on the Villa Download YouTube account. Just look at our posts. We have all of them going, so make sure to get that in. Check out all the previous ones. It is definitely a good watch. Or not a good watch, but it is really fun to go through them, and who doesn't like clicking on a poll? So let your voice be heard. So let's get into who are actually the award recipients. So, first up, what we have for award recipients. Just one moment. So, award recipients, we will start again with reality TV bombshell and hottie. All of these recipients or nominees are, in my opinion, equally beautiful. And there's so many more that could be a part of these categories, but we had to narrow it down to 4. And, this is just a fun competition. So, first up is reality TV bombshell. So, who are the nominees? We have Amanda Batula from Summer House. Of course, she's been going through a lot, and I have a feeling next year for the 2026 Villa Awards, she's probably going to be up there along with her marriage, which has, definitely been rocky this year and really every single year. When it has not been rocky, but regardless, she is one of the biggest bombshells on Bravo. She is effortlessly cool. She doesn't need to do anything besides maybe get rid of that 200-pound dead weight that is attached to her. She is definitely ranking up high up there. Next up is we have Andrina Santos from the past season of Love Island and then also Love Island Games, which I so appreciated because we were able to see an entirely different side of her. So that was great to see. So she is one of our nominees. Next up, we have none other than Luann de Lesseps. Of course, she is a Bravo legend. She comes from the Real Housewives of New York. Of course, Crappy Lake, which I went to go visit because I loved her so much. And of course, she is a cabaret star. And she knows how to reel in the guys, regardless of what age they may be. So kudos to Luann. And then next up, we have Iris Kendall, who definitely has a good following, and her family rides hard for her too, which I so appreciate. So, this soft glam galley is one of our reality TV bombshells. So, currently, I believe from everything that I've seen, both on YouTube and on Instagram, Iris is currently in the lead, but there is still more time to vote. Okay, next up we have reality TV hottie. And that brings us to Jeremiah Brown, who is currently in the lead. As I mentioned at the start of tonight's live, the Love Islanders fandom, they ride hard. So Jeremiah is in the lead. Appreciate him sharing this poll as well. So thank you, Jeremiah. But, obviously he had his moments in the past season of Love Island, but compared to majority of the guys on this last season, I will take him every day over the week. And then, of course, Kimberly and I was utterly heartbroken when Ace got him off the show, which is the reason why Ace will be brought up in the villain category in just a moment. Next up, we have one of Kimberly and I's favorite from the snake, Brett Kovault. I also made sure to double check with him that I could exploit him. Or bring him in this category beforehand. So he gave me his permissions. But of course, his body is a specimen, which he knows, everyone knows. But beyond that, yes, Brett is a hottie, but he is so much more. He is a big sweetheart who brings so much to the table in terms of what he puts forth in life, his goals, his efforts, just the way that he carries himself, and also the way that he is there for his family and his friends. And also make sure to check out The Snake, which has become one of Kimberly and I's favorite shows. Next up, we have Stephen McBee, who has definitely become, in my opinion, one of the top Bravo hotties. And speaking of which, guys, as I'm going through these categories, if there's someone you're rooting for, drop it in the chat. If there's someone you feel like I clearly missed out, feel free to rant and rave about it as well. And maybe I'll take them into consideration for the 2026 award. So we have Stephen McBee, cowboy hat or not. He is such a cutie. Don't come for me, Allie. I'm very much in support of your relationship. So he is from the McBee dynasty. And then lastly, for the reality TV Hottie Awards, we have Elon from the past season of Love Island. He wasn't an OG and he wasn't necessarily on there long, but curly hair, slicked hair back. Whether or not he made it or not, he was such a hottie and definitely seemed like such a sweetheart. It's also been fun following his journey there afterwards. So those are the reality TV hotties of the Villa downloads. And speaking of reality TV bombshells and hotties, that brings us to one of the key moments of 2025 is what an explosion Love Island season 7 was, which for anyone who is not aware, I am an OG Love Island watcher, starting from UK, Australia. I'm missing one other one. I'm forgetting. But then, of course, started watching it as soon as the US started airing it. Of course, it's been through various channels as well. So I am a diehard Love Islander. Obviously, it was always a huge juggernaut in the UK, but season 6, it really picked up with Leah and Rob and Miguel and all that other good stuff. And then Kayla and Aaron. And it made it a huge phenomenon. I didn't even think it could get any bigger than it was in season 6. But my goodness, season 7, which guys, season 7 wasn't the best for anybody that just came into Love Island. Season 7 wasn't the best, even though it had some really great key individuals. It wasn't the best that Love Island had to offer. But key aspect of 2025 is that Love Island exploded even more, getting their highest numbers. I mean, it's just insane how much a part of reality TV culture it is now becoming in the US. So it is great to see it finally get, its flowers that it deserves. But hopefully there are some good tweaks and changes to come in future seasons. Hopefully they'll go back to some of the formula of previous seasons while still finding dynamic personalities like they are so good at. Next up, we are going to go over is who our reality breakout stars are. So let's go over our reality TV breakout stars, some of which comes from new shows that Bravo has been trying. So for reality breakout stars, of course, we have none other than Amaya Papaya. Talk about personality, heart, charisma, just everything. And someone who is not afraid to authentically be themselves tears popping off, being confused in the moment, not knowing what to say. I so appreciated the authenticity and heart that Amaya brought to the past season. So did Kimberly as well. And, something that Love Island needs more in future seasons is more authenticity from individuals like Amaya or Alondria, or thinking back to even previous seasons before. Give me some Burgylicious as well. So we have Amaya. And I believe Amaya is currently in the lead for Reality Breakout Star. Next is we have Ariana Merriman. Didn't know she would be such a dynamic breakout star. I mean, she totally stole every single scene of Next Gen NYC. I don't think the show would get picked up for season 2 if it wasn't for her. So she did good. Her mama taught her very well. I can't wait to see what season 2 brings. Next is we have Boz St. John from, of course, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and on brand with Jimmy Fallon. So she has had such a breakout year with her first season and now, starting her second season. But in between those two, what? You score a deal with Jimmy Fallon? I mean, talk about a fast turnaround about getting your purse, Boz. Great job to her. And then, of course, we have Stacy from Real Housewives of Potomac. Talk about a standout character. Love, 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 love what she has to bring to the table. So those are those participants for that. And that brings us to another great moment of this current year. And that would be, Bravo is trying new shows, whether or not it's Next Gen NYC, which I think had a really great formula because it brought in some characters, meaning Bravo Nepo babies, whose moms we care about and we've seen them grow up on stage. So therefore, we're somewhat interested in them, but still it's a fresh new take and it's in New York City, that hustle bustle. Who doesn't love that, especially during that age, that time frame, all that good stuff. So have to give it up. And I'm very grateful for this formula that Bravo is trying. And then on top of that, we have the McBee dynasty, which this past year, concluded season 2. Season 3 is picking up, and that is a really good binge watch as well over the holiday season. Recommend that. But I feel like with this, Bravo is trying to bring in a new audience. With the McBee dynasty, it is something that both male and female, I think, could really enjoy together. There's not too many Bravo shows, unfortunately, that my husband will watch with me, besides Below Deck, Top Chef. So this is another one that I can draw him into. So I am excited and appreciative of McBee. And again, who doesn't love that eye candy as well? Next up, what we are going to go over is we have best villain. So let's get into who the best villain is of 2025. Okay, so for best villain, this is a good one. I have a personal favorite, which I am not going to deny. But first up, we have Tamra Judge. So again, take your drink anytime Tamra's name gets brought up. We have Tamra from the Real Housewives of OC. She is such a consistent villain, such a pot stirrer. But, this past year, she definitely has crossed the line. She continues to cross the line while she gets all mad at people for talking to bloggers when, and that's not even the right word to do. We really need to come up with a new word. It's kind of, I feel like, insulting to call a lot of these individuals that are getting dragged into these situation bloggers when they do so much more. I mean, I don't even think people really blog that much anymore, but she calls out and she gets mad at people for the exact same thing she does, if not worse. She does. So that's the reason why Tamara is one of the best villains of 2025. Next up, we have Demi from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And what the hell is going on with these Mormon wives? It is crazy. I mean, I think she's trying to lean into being a villain, and she's going to say that production is making her do so, which I don't think is the case. She just has really crossed lines. Whether or not it is potentially false SASH accusations towards other, which is extremely damaging, or being the one to reveal the truth about SA of her castmates, which is not her place to do, or on top of that, bringing in somebody's dead father who brought it, who, just to throw salt in the wounds. That is the type of person Demi is, not the type of villain I want. Her and Tamara are not the type of villains that I want at all. Another villain I don't want is that of Ace. Ace changed the dynamic of how Love Island works, and I hope people in future seasons don't try to replicate it. I thought he tried to make it way too much into a competition. He tried to be the puppet master, which eventually bit him in the ass later on. He is not the type of villain that I want. He was way too obvious in a non-clever way, and he thought he wasn't obvious, but he was very obvious. So Ace, maybe talk to Babar. He might have some pointers for you. And then next up is our girl, Catherine Cavender. We love her here at the Villa Download. She is definitely one of our favorites. So let's get into a little bit about who Catherine is and the reason why she makes such a great TV villain.
Oh my god. I think my biggest inspiration was Tony from Survivor.
Quick. And great preparation on that as well. And I can't believe you even did that before casting. I figured you probably did that in between. And I just loved how you just took ownership of your gameplay and your wit, but in a non-corny, try-hard way, which I feel like so many reality stars come off. It was very authentic. So again, thank you for that.
Yeah, I think the thing is with me is that I love reality TV so much. I'm an OG Survivor fan, OG Big Brother fan. Okay. And I miss reality TV in the early 2000s when it was like messy and unfiltered before social media and everyone was so scared about getting canceled. So when I went on the show, my approach was really, I'm going to go on and I'm going to say everything that's in my brain. And I'm not going to filter myself because I didn't want to play like a pretend part. Like obviously I went in knowing I wanted to be the villain. I knew that because I love watching TV villains, but I also can like separate my own identity from the game. That people are like, they were just authentically themselves. I'm like, in the game, I played a villain. Like that was a game, but I also contributed like my personal thoughts and twist them to like make myself the villain. So it was like, there was a lot of intention with it, but also a lot of unfilteredness. It's a really funny balancing act to explain.
I cannot even imagine. So did you have a TV villain that inspired you at all, Catherine?
Oh my God. I think my biggest inspiration was Tony from Survivor and Parvati. And I love Tony so much. Tony and his Spy Shack and Spy Nest. There was a point in the house, I almost did this, and I wish I did now. In the kitchen, you can see like these huge drawers. And I remember like I was the one cooking breakfast for everyone every morning because I love to cook. And that's kind of part of like how I played into that good girl persona, was like being like the house, like, cooked a lot. So when when I would cook every morning, I remember like opening so many drawers and they were just empty. So I was like, I was like gonna hide and like go inside the kitchen drawers and listen to people's conversation. I couldn't fit it out and I couldn't really hear anything. So I was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't do that. But now I wish I did because I wonder if I could hear.
And for so many reasons is why Catherine is such a good villain. Like she can so authentically pull it off, but without crossing a line. So that is one of the reasons why we love Catherine as one of our favorite villains of 2025. Also, speaking of villains, with going back to Demi as well, we got the Fruity Pebble scandal this year. I don't know about you. Can anyone look at Fruity Pebbles the same? I I don't know if I can. Yeah, so Demi brought us the Fruity Pebble scandal this year, also with the villain category, although not nominated because he doesn't deserve to be a part of any award ceremony per se, is Jax. Got fired from the Valley. So that was a huge moment in 2025. And is anyone else really surprised with how quiet he has been? I don't feel like we've heard one peep at all from Jax Taylor at all. And then the biggest villain in pop culture history, besides politics, of course, is that of Diddy. As we know, Puff Daddy has been facing jail time this year, could potentially get out sooner rather than later, but hopefully there's more cases on the horizon. And Kimberly did a really great job through the pop culture expose. She had a series of various different interviews that she held with lawyers and experts. So I highly recommend checking out that series. It was really good what Kimberly was able to cover on the Diddy case. So let's get into that. And if you go to
Diddy sent,
if you go to the Pop Culture Green Room, Kimberly has a playlist called The Diddy Case, I believe. So make sure to check that out. It is an evergreen series that you can watch at any time.
light, severe for what he was accused of. What are your thoughts?
Great question. Happy to be here, guys. So the girls will hopefully remind everybody that about a year ago, I said, I'm not really seeing the racketeering. I don't think they're going to get him for racketeering. And for a year, I got made fun of. Oh, how do you say that? This, that, and the other. What we saw Diddy get sentenced for was we got sentenced. And in a way, it was kind of like an OJ situation where when OJ got convicted the second time, he kind of got sentenced for the first murder that he got acquitted of. Mm-hmm. On one hand, Diddy got a below federal guideline sentence. So whether anybody says it out loud from the defense team or not, that was a victory for the defense. That was a huge, anytime you go below guidelines, huge victory in federal defense work. That said, I do think that the judge punished him for what we call relevant conduct, which he didn't get convicted of, right?
Do you feel that So yeah, does anybody disagree that Diddy was the ultimate pop culture villain of 2025? Can you look at him the same? Can you still enjoy his music? similar to R. Kelly. I mean, R. Kelly is somebody that whose music I cannot enjoy, will never be able to enjoy. But can you still enjoy Diddy's music? At first, I thought maybe I could, but then here I go watching the 50 Cent documentary that he did on him, and then finding out that the song that he did in regards to Biggie was just, you know, just to show save face. You know, it wasn't authentic. So I'm reevaluating everything. So I am just really curious when it comes to the topic of, especially over the last 5 years, I would say so many people who we admired in the entertainment world, you know, their true colors have shown. Can you still appreciate the art that they create, whether or not it's movies, TV, or music? Can you separate the two, or should it just be done and over with? So I'm just really curious to know everyone's thoughts. So whether or not you're watching live or part of the replay crew, make sure to drop your comments in the chat. And then next we have the funniest reality TV star and the best duos. So let's break that down. Just 1 second. Okay, so let's again get into funniest reality TV star. So for funniest reality TV stars, we have Gabby Wendy, who is formerly of the Bachelor franchise, which is like so hard to imagine now. But of course, she was such a breakout star when it comes to The Traitors. She kills every look, every line, whatever it may be, she slayed it and continues to slay it. I also love watching her marriage with her wife as well, who is hilarious. Next up, we have Frank Joseph, one of the Villa Downloads' personal favorites. He is also from The Snake. And I just have to say, although Kimberly and I have nominated a lot of people from The Snake, it is not because we are just trying to kiss ass per se, or we're trying to play favorites. I have to give it up to the casting team of The Snake because they put together such a good group of individuals. It makes you think back to old school real worlds where every single person who is casted really brings something to the table. And I just genuinely really like so many people of this cast. And Frank gave so many belly laughs. So let's get in a little bit more about Frank so you can understand a little bit more why we find him just so hilarious. Let me refresh this real quick.
So Frank, like you came in as like you were known as like the makeup artist.
Yeah.
But you immediately start to show that you were playing a bigger game than anybody expected. So like what was your mindset walking into that? Like you were literally like walking into like a game of manipulation.
Well, it's funny, and this is all meant in good fun, jest, and lighthearted nature, right? So anything that I say, my sense of humor, it tends to be a little bit forward at times. So I promise everything I say is with the kindest and warmest heart. I felt like I was walking into the Hunger Games, and in my head, I was like, "Yo, the winner of this is Katniss Everdeen. So you either need to channel that or not at all." And so in my head, when we pop out of the crates and you see your competition, right? And under the assumption that primarily the competitions would be physical, immediately I said, okay, I'm going to need to pivot because look at these people. I mean, they're like 17 foot 12 and built like Herculeon and Hercules. Well, you know, my power is here and my paintbrush. You are wise beyond your years, but even through the face of adversity, you remain calm and have class and couth. So hats off to you.
Appreciate it.
Very nice.
Same mutual respect.
Frankie is a real snake because he's got so many skills that I think some people don't see it. Hairdresser, come on, he's in with all the women.
I trust your judgment.
My eyes are so puffy this morning.
You want a patch, Bubby? You put the right shade of lipstick on, there's nothing a girl can't do.
He's read a book.
He's putting little seeds in their head about how they're going to move forward in the day. He's got charisma
And my
he's a threat.
paintbrush. So immediately I knew my strategy had to change. And I said to myself, you know what? Why don't you just be yourself? Because in the real world, we'll call it, I tend to lean on my collaborative relationships as my career has gone by. I mean, a makeup artist is also part therapist. So that being said, you know what I mean? Because you sit in your hairdresser's chair, or you sit in your makeup artist chair, and you're going through something, and you talk, and you tell them everything, and you.
But yeah, so for so many reasons, we find Frank hysterical. And then, of course, he has so many talents as well. So make sure to give Frank Joseph a follow and also check out the Beauty Salon podcast that he has as well. Now, let's get back into who the nominees are for funniest. And just like the other awards, if there is somebody that you like the most, please feel to share it in the chat. If you feel like there's someone that we are missing as well, feel free to drop them in. Next up is we have Earl the Pearl from Love Hotel. Kimberly and I also had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple of months back, and he was such a delight. I also have to give it up to the whole entire cast of Gents for Love Hotel who put themselves out there. They had no idea what the hell they were getting themselves into, but they were. The word of the night, I should have just said, drink every time I said authentic. These guys were authentically themselves, good, cringe moments, and all. They were authentically himself. And so was Earl as well. So Earl brought such humor, not that he didn't have some moments, but he brought such humor and such heart. He is really such a sweetheart, and he is another good follow as well. And Earl, either Earl or Gabby might be in the lead for this award because, man, Earl's crew, pardon my words, run deep. So they are voting for him like crazy. So I think right now it is between Earl and Gabby. Lastly, we have Brittany Bayman from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. How the heck is she a friend of? But she's, of course, another nominee for funniest. Some might say weirdest. Some people have said that in my DMs, but I find her funny, endearing, and I am totally here for her for that. Then next we have, before we switch over to we have Best Duo. So Best Duo, Frank, that brings us into Frank and Alyssa. Frank is one of the few who has made it into multiple categories, but Frank, who he likes to consider himself a Ken, has found the Barbie to his Ken in Alyssa, who have genuinely formed such a deep friendship with themselves outside of the show, The Snake. They also host the Beauty Salon podcast as well. And you'll constantly see them jet setting, going to events together, just having the time of their life and supporting each other like no other. So they are really such a great duo. And may everyone who enters a reality TV show find a friendship like Frank and Alyssa did. If I found a friendship out of a show I went on, then hey, I already won. And also, going back to funniest, let's give it up to Frank because the man won the snake. How did I not mention that? Oh, hashtag spoiler alert. I'm sorry if you didn't watch it, but I highly recommend watch it anyways and just forget that maybe I spoiled it for you. Next up is we have Nick and Alondria, who is killing this poll, who is killing this whole entire contest by a huge landslide. And pardon, I'm looking down at my phone so I can actually pull up the numbers right now. I can't believe we have, ladies and gentlemen, just on Instagram. This is not even including YouTube. Because of Nick and Alondria, we have over 520 votes on this particular post. And with 83% of the vote, we have Nick and Alondria. So they are winning with 83%. I mean, talk about one of the most gorgeous power couples to have ever walked in Love Island history. And talk about deal after deal, bag after bag. I mean, they have totally capitalized in the best of the way. I mean, no shade to this. After Love Island, I don't think any US Love Islander, obviously Leah did great things from season 6, but no one has catapulted and has owned the magazines, the covers, the fashion industry like Alondria has. And I also think it helps that, Nick is there to support her in every which way, as is she, and they really bring out the best of each other and want to help their dreams come true. And I think that also helps that they had a solid friendship established as well. So, I mean, damn again, Nick Alondria fandom. I mean, I've never seen a group ride so hard. So, all the flowers to you all. Next up is we have Leah and Miguel, and somebody did call out in the comments. It is probably not fair that I posted them up against Nick and Alondria, but I didn't realize how hard the fans really rode. And I thought maybe some Leah and Miguel fans would ride just as hard, but I guess not. So Leah and Miguel fans, if you are out there, please drop your votes. But although they are from 2 seasons ago, they have had such a year with their relationships professionally, buying a house together and really proving to be one of the Love Islanders that are hopefully going to go the distance. As Kimberly would say, manifested, nothing better happened to Leah and Miguel. So, and people doing those bogus cheating rumors, cut it out. Next up is Mary and Angie from, of course, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They are the unexpected friendship and duo that we didn't need. And when so many friendships don't feel that authentic on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, this is the missing formula that is so needed as a part of that overall puzzle piece. So I love seeing the highs and the lows and how they're able to overcome hurdles as well. So they are our best duo. And then next, we have the housewife scandal. So all this brings us to another question. The chicken before the egg, or the egg before the chicken. When we think to housewife scandals, do these scandals happen? Or are these people wired a certain way before they enter the reality TV game? Or does reality TV and the fame turn them into this? So let's get into this. So we have Karen Huger, who was arrested, her DUI arrest, and she served jail time as well. And I think, mind you, this was like her 4th DUI. Thank God she ran into a tree and not into someone else. Thank goodness both her and Shannon did not hurt anyone. But this was her 4th time. So not surprising in my opinion, which is the reason why she doesn't personally get my award. I also didn't really like how the Bravo audience gave her such a standing ovation at BravoCon. Yeah, I understand, Karen, you did your time. Hopefully you learned from it. You definitely learned from it way more than Jen Shaw, I'm guessing. But you didn't deserve that type of ovation. Like, that's disgusting to give somebody who has done that 4 times in the way that she acted a standing ovation for that. No, I don't think so, honey. Next up is, of course, the housewives versus the bloggers, which, as I said before, they deserve a different word. So very often throughout the history of time, or since social media has started, majority of housewives interact with content creators, podcasters, bloggers, journalists. They do connect with them. They share details, drop little tidbits. You know, I've even had some communicate with me as well. I don't ever fish for it because, you know, I just want to be surprised in the moment. I'm just here to appreciate them on TV. I don't want to personally fish for any information. If they want to give it to me, so be it. But then my mouth is sealed. Like some information I learned about Jeff Lewis from someone, my mouth is sealed. I've never shared it with anyone. But there's certain lines that shouldn't be crossed. Number one, I don't think, both Kimberly and I don't think it should be a storyline on The Real Housewives or any of these reality TV shows. It kind of takes away from it. And these housewives should just stay in their lane. It is ruining aspects that we so loved of these shows. And it's going to end up being one of the nails in the coffin for some of our favorite shows. Next up is we have Kim Zolciak, who thought she'd be a part of this, even though she hasn't been a Real Housewife for a while. She has had so much family drama. From the remnants of her divorce she is still going through with Corey Bierman, from the little tidbits that we have found out from Next Gen NYC of aspects that she has done to her daughter, such as, you know, using all of the money that, you know, they earned as kids, as teens, having her skin bleach and her freckles getting taken away without her consent, without her, you know, really knowing until after it was already in process. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but I don't know, reason 1023 why I so appreciate Ariana Bierman and everything that she has gone through. And then, of course, we have lastly Wendy and Eddie Asefo. The fraud arrest. Did not see that coming. What the heck? You guys are both lawyers. You have kids. Why are you doing this? You fake your house getting broken into. You have over 40 different credit cards, accounts, under false names, under oh my God, aliases. It is insane. Wendy and Eddie, it's okay to, you know, be on that happy green stuff, but stay within the law, guys. What the is wrong with you guys? Seriously. So I think because of that, Wendy and Eddie is currently in the lead. So those are the scandals. And then real quick, let's get into best host. So for best host, of course, we have Ariana Madix for Love Island and so much more. I think Peacock really loves her. They are having her do more. Like she just did something with The Voice as well, which was really cute with Dylan Efron. And I died yesterday. When she shared my post. Thank you, Ariana. I love and I appreciate you. Also, you should check one of my highlights from a while ago where I predicted that Ariana would be the Love Island host well before anyone even did and way before it was ever announced. So always wanted this for her and she has killed the game. And she's leading as well. Next up is Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers, who held the Las Culturistas Culture Awards. I loved it. It was probably one of the few award shows that I actually watched this year, of course, besides the Bravos, but it was great. It also produced one of my favorite songs that I've probably listened to 1,000 times this year is Ben Platt singing Diet Pepsi. It was so good. Recommend giving it a listen, but I mean, they are great. At times I wonder, is Andy concerned because of how good they are and eventually they could surpass them? Not that they necessarily host reunions yet, but I think big things are on the horizon for them. And that is probably one of the reasons why Bowen Yang exited SNL abruptly mid-season. I think there's big things on the horizon for them. I also think Andy appreciates them, but I think it is the case of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Bowen and especially Matt Rogers is such competition for Andy. And I know Matt's name has been thrown around a lot, not by Andy, but by so many others in the industry and fans of people who could take over for Andy for Watch What Happens Live if he was to leave. So I think because of that, Andy keeps him closer. He likes having him on Watch What Happens Live. He has both of these gents signed up for a book for him as a part of his book imprint as well. So I think he's trying to keep them close. Then next up, of course, we have none other than Andy Cohen, the granddaddy of hosting. So let's be real. He is, the gold stamp of it. Not that he is perfect. No one is perfect. And he definitely gets it wrong very often. But compared to so many others who get so many aspects wrong, he is still the gold stamp of host. But again, Ariana Madix is winning. And then lastly, we have a newcomer to it. Stassi Schroeder, who hosted the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion, which was honestly one of the most horrible reunions that I've seen in God knows how long. But it was not because of Stassi. It was because of editing. It had nothing to do with her. I thought she did a fantastic job. And how crazy is it? Both Stassi and Ariana went through such scandals and controversy. Ariana was Scandival, and now she is hosting Love Island and so much more. And Stassi was almost canceled so many times, but of course now she is appearing starting 2 seasons in a row for Vanderpump Villa. She's going to be getting her own spinoff soon too on Hulu, and she was hosting this. So for those reasons, that is why they are the best host. But before we close out the Villa Awards, let's get into some of my favorites. Let's get into some of my favorite content creators or podcasters. So for creative standout, we have none other than Besties by Caitlin Marshall. She's always been one of my favorites, whether or not it's on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. She is so creative. She's a comedian, she's an actress, she's a badass mom. She is so much, but she really turns everyday moments into fun pop culture, and she's just so creative in some of the ways that she goes about it as well. So I appreciate all that she's done, and she has really killed it this year with what she's doing on TikTok, being able to host some of the red carpet interviews at the Bravos, and oh, she looked stunning as well. And she was one of the best at interviewing at Bravos as well, as compared to all the other content creators. No shade. Next up is Mark Sebastian, who I mainly follow on TikTok. And he came across my algorithm when that 9-month cruise was going on about a year or two ago. But he hosts the Gay American Side Quest, or as he calls it, it's the Great American Gay Side Quest. So abbreviation, he calls it GAGS. But he provides the craziest variety of different aspects he brings, whether or not it is putting together minis, going to haunted places, looking for crystals, fossils, rocks, or again, doing these cool adventures that he does. I cannot recommend him enough. Then next we have Miguel Luciano, who is an actor and impressionist. He is probably becoming one of your favorite Real Housewives impressionists. So love him. Cannot recommend checking him out enough for continuous daily belly laughs. He nails every impression. And he also said if he wins this award, he will accept the award, doing one of his impressions. I think he said as Ramona. So please, guys, help make it happen. Then next we have one of Kimberly and I's favorites and one of our former guests on our show, Connection Queen M. So she is very creative in aspects that she does. And of course, I always love when she brings her stellar singing skills into it. She can make some fun songs. Next, we have who are deep divers, and some of these definitely could have been in multiple categories. For example, Giorgio from Giorgio says he could have been in most creative as well, but he is an exceptional deep diver, investigator. He can investigate like no other, and he is not afraid of pissing off any housewife, any reality star. He always has the receipts to back it up. I also like that he brings not former producers, but producers on his show as well. So for that, he is one of the great deep divers. But again, he is so creative, whether or not it's some of the AI stuff he does or the songs he makes. And he also did the opening song of the Villa Download or my pop culture expose opener as well. So for many reasons, I love and appreciate Giorgio so much, as does Kimberly. Then we have Nat, who is one of the most passionate and consistent deep divers. All she does is deep dive daily on a basis, whether or not it's Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the Diddy case, which she did exceptional on. I think she's been in some documentaries as well because of some of the deep dives that she does. So major kudos to her. It's not easy deep diving all the time and being worried like somebody's looking over your shoulder, especially with some of the topics that she deep dives, which can be very uncomfortable and have a lot of eyes on you, both good and bad. Then we have Dana Reagan, who is also known as the Bravo investigator. She also has a great podcast with Her Dat Media as well, but she is a great deep diver, hence the name, the Bravo investigator. And then, of course, if you've been living under a rock, there is Kempire, who is one of the original legends of deep diving. So whether or not it has to do with the Tyler Perry case or just anything that is going on with pop culture, he is your man to go to. And then especially all the housewife drama as well. He will deep dive that like no other. Then we have the hot takes. So first up is the Bravo mom, Ashley. Whether or not you're following her on TikTok or Instagram, she provides you daily look into her life, what's her hottest takes, different opinions that she has on shows that are going on, and she helps break the news. Then we have Mo, another favorite of the channel, and she has been on our show a couple of times. She is with the Mo Show and Reality Recap, but ooh, she has hot takes like no other, which is the reason why she has a very long list of reality TV stars she has been blocked by. Speaking of which, go to her stories right now because she just posted some of them in her stories, and here I am with my popcorn looking at all of them and wondering the reasons why to them. So she is great. And Kimberly and I cannot say enough thanks to Mo this year, who has been such a game changer for our trajectory and people she has connected us with this year. So for all those reasons, Mo, we love, we appreciate you, and you are always welcome here at the Villa Download. Next, we have another one of our favorites, Amanda Bella from Bella Talks TV, also previously on the show. But as we know, she is not afraid to share her opinion. And a lot of times her opinion might stray away from the masses as well. So I always love a good difference of opinions. It is healthy. We need debate. And she is one of my faves to debate. I don't feel like she ever crosses the line too much, but bring on the debate. And then next up is Where Are My Real World TV fans? Jemmy Carroll. So she is from Real World, but she is very opinionated. And because of that, she has brought herself a whole new following of people who had no idea even what Real World is or that she was on the Real World because of her hot takes, whether or not it's politically or whether or not it's calling out some of the asses that are on the Real World. She will tell it like it is. And I think currently hot takes is between Mo and Jemmy. So let your voices be known. Next up is we have Most Insightful. So we have Melissa Reich, your Bish therapist. I had the pleasure of interviewing her about a year and a half ago. Feel free to check that out on Pop Culture Expose, where we talked about the impact of celebrity gossip and blinds. That was a really great interview, which I appreciated, but I love how insightful she is with, number one, her podcast as well, Your Bish Therapist, but also if you follow her on Instagram, you know, her thoughts she shares after some of her favorite shows and the insight she has with her expertise. Next, we have Kay Casey with Reality Life with Kay Casey. If you don't know her, where have you been? She's one of the OG founding women of podcasting. I've been listening to her for well over a decade now, and she is like an encyclopedia of topics, from true crime to documentaries to reality TV to producers. And I just love the fact that she talks to the people behind the scenes, which is so much more fascinating sometimes than the people on the show. So I love me some Kay Casey, as does Kimberly. Then we have Tasha Begg, the pop astrologist. So I just love how she takes her insight and creates, you know, the short little videos of why this certain moment in pop culture is happening based off how their charts are. So give her a follow. Also, next we have is Briefed by Elle Moraski. So she cuts through with noise. She's very opinionated. She is very sharp in the best of ways. She will tell it like it is, which some people are afraid to do so, especially in the political environment that we are in, but she is not afraid to do so. And for that, I appreciate her. And then lastly, for awards that we are going to cover tonight, we have the Bring on the Variety. We have, of course, Heather McDonald. Everyone should know who she is with the effort, how long she has been in the game. We also have Ryan Bailey as well. Of course, one of my other favorites who I so appreciated and appreciate him also sharing this too. We have Sarah Fraser, who is expecting in a couple of months. So, oh my God, kudos for everything that she does. And I also love the claps that she does with Behind the Velvet Rope. So, love watching them together. But whether or not she covers Bravo, to Sister Wives, to Plathville, she covers a lot. And another one, not afraid to share her opinion or make someone upset. Then we have Amir Yas as well, who is a digital creator. He brings high energy and humor to his take, so give him a follow. Kimberly also had the pleasure to interview him and collab with him in the past as well. So we are really excited for these awards. And then as we close up things, next up is we have some additional awards. So make sure again to be following us on our socials, which you can follow me at Danny Gossip Girl on Instagram or Kimberly at This is Kimberly A. Bryant on Instagram as well. Or you can also follow the Pop Culture Green Room on Instagram too, which will be turned into the Villa Download come next week. So make sure to check that out. But all of the polls are going to be on the Danny Gossip Girl account, although collabing with all of those accounts as well. So check that out. Go to the stories, vote on YouTube as well. But the other awards coming up is Best Themed Party. Who's the most vulnerable? Who showed the most vulnerability in reality TV this year? Ugh, who gave you the biggest ick? Always need that every year. What were some of the biggest OMG moments? Like, what? A pastor showing up on a show that is about deception for real? Yes, that happens. Who's the best housewife? Who's the best Islander? What's the best new show? And what has been one of your favorite quotes of this year? So those are some of the additional awards coming up. And again, guys, like the video, subscribe, and share it with your reality TV besties. It keeps chaos going every week. And then, some other major headlines this year as we close this out. And there's so much that, of course, we could talk about. But I would just say a big shift in the Bravo world is the fact of shows being on pause and shows being rebooted. So we haven't seen Real Housewives of New Jersey for some time. And it's crazy how long they haven't been filming. So who knows what will happen to them, even in the midst of, Joe and Teresa supposedly, getting along. We'll see what happens with that. And if that is really authentic, take a drink. But we haven't heard of any news with New York, although Andy has been promising it. I don't know how they would revive it because nothing is better than the OGs. Am I wrong? And then Bravo rebooted the Vanderpump Rules, which again, I'm personally loving it. I just think it did them a disservice because they didn't name it differently. They should have named it something like Sir Next Shift, something like that, or just Next Shift. not Vanderpump Rules. Although I know they just want to cling on to that IP. But anyways, all that is going to wrap up tonight's episode of the Villa Download. A huge thank you to everyone who hung with me tonight, shared your opinions, voted, and kept the chat lively. And of course, sending all my love to Kimberly and her pup Lucy. We'll have her back soon, so make sure you are subscribed and don't miss out on our upcoming lives, Villa Award updates, and all pop culture and reality TV chaos that we'll be breaking down next. So, come January 7th, we will be announcing the Villa Award winners live here on YouTube. So make sure to check that out. And I'm Danny. This has been the Villa Download. And until next time, stay messy, stay curious, and stay downloaded.